It's the 17th of July, 2016, and we want to know, with villains like Killicorn and Gargonzola trolls, can anyone really be worried for Nightwing?
Does Colonel Kane have a secret for Batwoman that doesn't involve 11 herbs and spices?
It's all coming up now. It's DC Rebirth Week 7 here at DCR.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. I am your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian Klein. Hello, sir.
Hey there, Sean.
Are we doing wonderful today?
We're doing all right.
Are we alive? Are we surviving?
I'm alive. I will see if I can talk into the microphone properly this week.
Well, okay, that's a nice thing to try.
I do it like this, right?
Well, no. You put the microphone by your mouth.
Yeah. So not.
No, you. No.
Like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Remember, we have to have that whole really tight scope as far as the feed on the gain on it because kids. So I can't pick up everything else.
Gotcha.
But
sorry about all those missed jokes last week, everybody.
now that we're actually doing a podcast and speaking into the microphone,
I've only got 5 jokes. You can just assume what I was saying.
Yeah, you probably already know what it was. So why don't you tell the lovely folks what we're going to do here today?
We're going to spoil everything that happened this week in DC's DC Rebirth line.
Yeah, we're going to talk about plot beats, character lines, story development, etc., etc. And it's a...
What about character lions? Any character lions?
If we have any character lions, like if Lion Mane showed back up...
Oh, if only.
I would definitely speak of him.
Okay.
But I think we have a distinct lack of character lions this week. So if you have not read your books, if you are behind, if you do not want things spoiled, do not listen ahead. You have been properly forewarned. And without any further ado, what do you say we just jump right into this mess, Brian?
All right.
How do you feel about action? Because I have Action Comics, so
okay, I'm all right with action.
You're at least somewhat tolerating of action. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Because it's a massive throwdown of super levels in Metropolis as Super Dad, Super Lex continue their fight against Doomsday as a Clark Kent runs around in the background as a confusing cherry on top of this just disastrous mess. Which leaves the awkward parenting to Lois Lane back home on the farm, where she has to skirt the edges of what happened last time because their son John is like, hey, Dad's fighting Doomsday. He fought him before, right? Yeah, he fought him before. Well, clearly everything's fine because it's not like Superman could just die and then come back to life without everyone being like, well, that's a bunch of bullcrap. yeah, that's what happened. He must have won that fight. Okay. You got it, honey. I'm sure things will go just as fine this time around. But it doesn't look like it. Well, actually, it does look like it's probably going to go pretty similarly to the last time they had met because Lex's power armor is already shredded and Superdad is trying to take Doomsday underground into the sewers to try to limit collateral damage. That first thing everyone yells at Superman about. Why wouldn't he just fly the fight away from the city so there wouldn't be any collateral damage? Well, he's trying. He's driving him underground into the sewers to fight. Really, who lives in the underneath major metropolitan areas in the DC universe?
I know, right?
I mean, it's not like this is Gotham City.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, when he does drive him down in there, the streets crumble, and that weird Clark Kent that no one seems to know who he is falls down as well and breaks his arm. So he's down in the sewer standing next to Superman as Doomsday is kind of recovering off to the side. And Lex, using the power of his mother box, is able to regenerate his power suit. That must be pretty convenient. Must be a nice thing to have for Lex Luthor, a mother box that controls all of reality. I mean, I guess that should be potent. Why doesn't he just use it to make Doomsday go away.
It's got very specific scope.
Okay, fair enough. But when he flies down to help again, Superman asks him to fly Clark Kent to safety and get all the people of Metropolis out of the area, which Lex kind of feels is a little beneath him, but after being eviscerated in round 1 against Doomsday, decides discretion's the better part of valor. So he kind of goes, okay, well, I'll take care of that real quick. So knowing everything is on the line, this is it. He's got to push it to the limit, Brian, because he knows Doomsday will kill him. If he lets up for even a second, he'll kill everyone in the city. He will kill, because that's what Doomsday does. So he decides to go full power with his heat vision, just plowing straight into Doomsday as he just pushes him back up against the wall. And it looks like it's actually working at first. Doomsday's kind of like, ow, that really hurts. Why are you doing that? But then he gives a big old toothy grin to Super Dad. And, as he's doing so, he pulls the gas main down from above, igniting the entirety of downtown Metropolis and sending rubble flying everywhere. Tee-hee-hee. That zany, Doomsday. I kind of like this new super strategic Doomsday that isn't just punch-ems in the face. Is this like a...
I think they sort of... They made him more calculating as he went along, because he did come back a couple times.
All right.
And I think
just have a wrestling match.
Yeah, it kind of goes along with the whole every time he dies, he gets stronger when he comes back.
Sure.
So,
but we still don't even know if this is actually a Doomsday from like where Super Dad came from.
Yeah.
The whole that timeline,
or if it's a random spore from the last time he showed up in the New 52 or what. Yeah,
toyed with it. We have no idea where this one came from. There's a lot of questions with this, but the issue ends with the Clark Kent standing there as the dust and rubble of the city as all the buildings are falling over, and he's like, "Oh boy, Superman, is that you?" And we just see Doomsday stepping outside from the dust particles and goes, "Roar!" Which I assume in Doomsday-ese means, "Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you dead? I mean, you were the alter ego of the Superman who died already, and I can see the other Superman over there as we speak, so what kind of shenanigans are you trying to play here, Clark Kent?" And that's what I'm assuming he means when he says, "Roar!"
A little easier to translate than interlac, so hey.
It is. It really is. Again, I'm surprised. It's good. Remember how before I had asked, hey, I wonder if we're going to get a retelling of the whole Death of Superman thing so we can see it in new modern style of storytelling and a little bit more popping visuals and everything.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting something like that.
The color on this issue was fantastic.
Oh, the whole thing's just amazing. And it's just, we're kind of getting that, but at the same time, there's a bunch of big mysteries in there that I'm kind of hoping we start to get a little bit here. I understand it's issue
bi-weekly.
3.
We can't be too greedy.
I know, but I'm hoping within the first arc of 6, we at least get something answered that, because obviously
which
that's
would happen within 3 months. That's faster than usual.
I know, but still, it would allow it to, because no matter what question is answered, there's just going to be more questions raised from it, so it's not like they're really giving up their mystery aspect, so I'm hoping they don't hold that card too close to their chest. Because other books that came out this week are just kind of laying their cards on the table right up front.
Yeah.
Like your book.
Like Detective Comics number 936?
Yeah.
To me, my Batman. All right. So, Kate Kane, we start off, Batwoman. She isn't sure if she should be taking a leadership position on the Batmen, which is just what I'm going to call them since they don't have an official name.
All right, fair enough.
So she goes to see Renee Montoya about it. This might be a little flashback. No, wait, this is not a flashback.
No, this is present day.
Yeah, so she goes and sees Renee Montoya. Is this the first time she's shown up in the New 52?
No, she's popped up in the background once or twice. They are exes. We know that
but
much.
never as a main character.
No, she's never been in the forefront yet.
All right, so Renee tells her that this is merely blatant fan service, and you're a grown-up and you can figure out your decisions on your own.
Oh, man.
You don't need to put this on me. Thank you.
Renee being a little harsh there.
I'm going to go walk off.
I am the cold voice of reality.
Yes. So she gets called into the Belfry by Tim Drake to inform her that Batman has been taken down and kidnapped by a mysterious paramilitary force known as the Colony. So they call in the team with their little communicator bat symbols, and we get a bunch of hilarious, like, mask-esque vignettes of everyone's days being ruined by having to come in and fight crime.
And the worst part would be it would just say, Tim Drake needs you, and you're just like, God damn it.
But Batwoman doesn't just call in Orphan, Spoiler, and Clayface. She also calls in her father, Colonel Kane.
Hey.
Because you see, this is a military operation, and no one knows more about that than her dad. So, hey, I'm going to call you in, maybe compromise my secret identity, but whatever.
Well, I mean, they already knew each other.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as Jacob, her dad, and
Well, her dad knows that she's Batwoman, but no one else knows. Like, who's this random dude that just showed up here?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, fair enough. I guess I didn't really put that together.
Yeah, so
it's not like there's anyone that will ever flip-flop in the future like Clayface, that information might be kind of important to keep secret.
Hope not. I love good guy Clayface. So he analyzes. So Colonel Kane analyzes the footage and then calls in the colony to burst through their belfry. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah. Hey, to be fair, they laid the card out that everyone knew in issue 2. Isn't this issue 2? 2 or 3? I mean, it's pretty early.
It's issue 936, John.
You know what I mean, of the arc.
Yeah.
But they didn't just sit there and go, oh, look at Jacob Kane being all like arching his fingers and stuff all the time and cackling with lightning striking behind him. He's clearly not the leader of the colony.
Yeah. We get a cool bit where this good enough to take down Batman squad has to deal with Orphan because she got held up by she spotted them before everyone else, so she started fighting them on the way there.
And just is uber badass.
Yeah, so like she's able to take down like 4 or 5 of them on her own before they like knock her down in the belfry with everyone else. And it's like, geez, this one's crazy. Boss, seriously, like I know I'm supposed to be like all serious and military precision is with this, but that girl, holy crap, what are you send us into? Yes, I think they take her down by poison darting the crap out of her.
Yeah, they pump like 100 rounds of sedatives into her with
we
machine
had
guns.
used rhino tranquilizers on Orphan. He tries to get Kate to be his second in command. He's like, this doesn't have to go down bad. Like, Batman's not doing enough. We're using Batman's tactics out in the real world. We've done a lot of good around the rest of the world, and how we need to bring it to Gotham because there's something even bigger than just us that you're unaware of. She's like, yeah, no, this seems kind of shady. Still, not really my cup of tea.
Because Jacob wants her to be a commander of the colony.
He's like, you could bring in your friends, you could bring your little friends, you could train them yourself if you want to, or they could probably use a little army tough in them.
Yeah, armor strong.
And she's like, you know what? No, I don't think that something about this seems unbelievably shady. I don't care if you're my dad. So they tell Clayface to play ball, which leads to an awesome visual where he just forms a clay ball around them. And then the ground opens up and they shoot through a trap door, which I hope goes into some sort of giant bat-themed pinball machine, or at the very least some sort of Marble Madness maze. But I will take what I can get. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Eddie Barrow. I've gushed about Eddie Barrows drawing Clayface already, but man, he's on some next level crap here.
There was a secondary villain that actually got his introduction into the new DC universe here as well, when Tim Drake was trying to regain control of the Bat computer. And he was hacking, and then you saw that other
the general
person. Yeah,
with
the
general. 4 and the 3. Yeah, the general, I think, was a Tim Drake villain at one point.
He was a Nightwing villain. I'm assuming.
Nightwing villain. Huh.
Yeah,
I
just saw that because I was like, well, that seems important. I should probably look that up. And I was like, oh, well, that's a villain. That's something.
I could have sworn
he might be a Tim Drake.
I read a Tim Drake story once with a general. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
That's a pretty potent arch nemesis right there. Yep.
Yeah.
He
my
pretty scary.
elite hacksaw skills are not good enough for this guy that spells general with a 4 and a 3 in it.
Clearly, he is my superior.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone actually seemed pretty cool. I mean, as far as Tim Drake having a very serious conversation
this feels like an old school team book.
It does
this is like a team book where everyone is very specifically chosen because they have roles to play in the story, and not just
but we didn't get the table with the manila folders.
I know there's no manila folders. We're not playing action figures where it's like, well, who's a character that's never been on a team before? Let's bring in this character. Are they going to do anything? But they'll stand in the background. They'll be able to put them on a list now. You know. Those things that happen a lot recently.
Wikipedia entry's pretty light. We should probably give him something.
Like, you brought in Clayface, but he's actually doing something.
Yeah, so, he's the comedic guy in the background.
He's like, oh man, that's a good punch on Batman. Wish I could have landed one of those.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's like, what? It was a good. I can still appreciate it. I understand what women see in Ryan Reynolds. I'm not going to lie.
But Spoiler gets to be the kind of fun character as well. A quasi love interest.
And again, not to just completely gush about Eddie Barrows. I still love that he's doing like the J.H. Williams thing where
very much.
From
opening shot with the beer glass.
Well, that number one, that's because it was a Kate Kane story. It was a Batwoman part, so she got weird layouts.
Yep.
But also, just like when J.H. was doing Seven Soldiers, he made sure in that final issue that he drew all the characters like they were drawn in their book previously.
Oh, gotcha.
So like. Spoiler has kind of like she's got like vaguely anime eyes sometimes when she gets surprised.
Yeah,
like it's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I kind of like it. I mean, his Flash stuff was very energetic. It was very kinetic. It moved very quickly when Barrows was doing that stuff. But this looks really good. This is probably some of the better work I've seen of his. So
yeah,
I quite like it. Next up, we got more new stuff. We had new series starting this week. A couple of them, a handful here, and. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get the Action Detective. They are the tentpole books, so I figured they at least should get top billing when they're there.
They've got the higher numbers.
Yeah, so go ahead and get us started here with new books.
New Superman.
Oh.
New Superman #1.
All new Superman now?
No, just new Super Dash Man #1.
Super Dash Man? The Flash?
No.
So he's fast.
No. This is not a janky bootleg version of Super Mario or anything. All right, so we start off in Shanghai, China, where we meet Kenan Kong, a jerk bully who likes to beat up a fat rich kid in his class named Li Xin and steal his soda cola every day. While he's going through his after-school ritual, a Chinese supervillain named Blue Condor shows up and tries to kidnap Li Xin, whose family runs the biggest airline in China.
And that seems to be a pretty big reason as to why he's picking on him as well.
Yes. So suddenly struck by a bolt of righteousness, or just not wanting anyone else to beat up this kid, Kenan...
This is my punch dummy.
Yeah. So Kenan throws a soda cola at Blue Condor, and Condor drops Li Xin and has to fly off.
You know Booster Gold would make that his commercial thing then and there. My soda cola takes down villains everywhere.
Yeah. Soda cola. This gets caught on tape by Lainey Lan, a reporter for Primetime Shanghai, and Kenan is a local hero for the day, a real subway hero. So this attracts the attention of Dr. Omen, who we
saw before,
who made the Zodiac Men and the Red Superman in that New 52perman died fighting.
Yep.
So we go home.
Clearly a good guy.
Clearly a good guy. Also, isn't Omen also Lilith in Teen Titans?
Yes.
How does that get by? It's actual sun god Apollo all over again.
Well, it's not that bad. I don't know if Dr. Omen's going to be a long-term character.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it would make sense if she was, but I don't think if she does get a supervillain thing, it'll probably be a different name, and that'll just be her alter ego. Gotcha. I used to be Dr. Omen, now I'm Omen McOmen face. I don't know.
All right. So we go home with Kenan and find that his dad's an auto repair specialist, and he's none too keen on...
Day.
Well, yes. He's none too keen on Kenan being a bully, and he knows exactly why he was there to spook Blue Condor by accident. Now, if you'll excuse me, instead of watching your viral video, I'm going to go hang out with my conspiracy theory group and try to prove the existence of the Ministry of Self-Reliance like a normal person.
To be fair, it is China. The way they're doing that.
Yes, he is very low. He's like, I've got to be low key about this, but we do want to publish this. We need to get this information out there, and it may be a problem when we do. And it's like, yeah, you've been almost ready to publish for the past 5 years, Dad.
I mean, it's putting the gun to your head at that point. So
yes.
You gotta make sure you are.
Make sure you are ready. Yeah.
Every T is crossed and every I is dotted at that point.
So instead of going to be interviewed by Lainey, he visits his mother's grave. She died in a plane crash. That's why he picks on Li Xin. Dr. Omen shows up and makes him an offer to become a new Superman, and shows a video of Superman stopping an airplane from falling with his powers.
Oh, so he gets
tug at those heartstrings. Yes. She also says, and I'm from the Ministry of Self-Reliance, and I can give him power. I can give you powers to stop tragedies just like your mother's. And he's like, oh my gosh, I could stop planes from crashing and prove the Ministry of Self-Reliance is an actual thing. Dad is finally going to be proud of me. So they go take him off there and put him in an origin chamber and give him the red Superman powers, complete with Kirby crackles, just like the last one had.
Yep.
And LOL, there's like, well, the last one only kind of exploded. This will be fine. He's like, wait, what? Push the button.
I'm changing my mind.
But he comes out. He's able to stabilize and looking like himself in the new red Superman costume with like the S in like an octagon.
Yep.
Instead of a triangle. But he's flying. He accidentally laser eyes their lab. So to calm him down, they call in the Batman and Wonder Woman of China to calm him down.
Because it's the Ministry of Self-Reliance.
Yes.
They don't want to have to rely on the American Justice League.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
they've made their own Justice League.
Yep. I think it's a great idea. I think
I wonder how the Great 10 feels about this.
I don't know how the guy. Honestly, it was being pitched as the Justice League of China in some of the pre-things, and even episodes before the Rebirth saga. I was like, "What if I told you the Great 10 might be showing up here soon?" That's what I thought they were referring to.
Yeah. Well, they did show up. They did show up in the Death of Superman.
Yeah,
thing, so.
but it's not the same. I mean,
I know.
If we're doing this whole thing in China without the Great 10 around, especially since they've already been established, I'm hoping they at least get to.
But it was the same writer that brought them
it's
in.
going to be the Ministry of Self-Reliance end up being in conflict with the Great 10.
I have a feeling that's what it's going to be.
And that's where it ends
'Cause
up
this
going.
is-
Like, hey, look at these people. It's the Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman of this country, but they're not really the good guys. It's actually the Great 10 over here.
This is Gene Luen Yang picking
Yes.
up from.
Yeah, he's picking up in his own threads right now that he left hanging. So I have a feeling we'll see them again.
Yes.
I just, I hope our Superman ends up with them. Even though this Superman is much more of a Justice League 3001 style Superman,
Yeah.
a bit of a jerk, bit of a D-bag.
Yeah.
I mean, his heart's tactically in the right place. He was at least willing to stand up and help out the
You
kid.
understand what? You understand why?
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it a lot more
Yeah,
tolerable. It's not just a jerk face, but at the same time, he's not all rainbows and kittens and everything, and just like, I'm
Yeah.
Superman. I'm gonna do good for the world.
I had to learn a lot of Chinese pronunciation for this one. I read this whole. If you go to DC's website, Gene Luen Yang has a whole like essay he wrote about naming him and trying to like figure out how to make it still like distinctly Chinese.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a very interesting read because he was originally going to be Kenji Kong.
Okay.
But it also, I guess, when you're translating Chinese to English, it also sounds like a Japanese name, and he didn't want there to be confusion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
yeah.
So now it's like, of course, it looks like Keenan, but it's supposed to be pronounced Kenan. So,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
it's like you can't always be a winner. Translating Chinese to English is a real pain in the butt, apparently. So,
do you remember when you were trying to pronounce Siobhan for the longest?
oh god,
Sioban? Siobhan.
Who?
Whatever.
Yes.
Her. So good. It's a nice start.
I'm a little confused why everyone in China wears very slouchy
I
like
was
neck
kinda
collars.
confused by that too.
It's like that. I'm like, is that an actual fashion thing in China right
Could
now?
be.
I don't
mean,
know.
I honestly don't know. So, I'm just hoping it. I know his indie work, Gene Luen Yang, that's his name, correct? Is very highly praised.
Yes.
So I'm hoping this is able to forge its own path for a while before there is a lot of editorial mandates of, okay, now let's bring him into the DC universe as a whole. And
Yeah.
I mean, they have their own Batman and their own Wonder Woman, and they'll have their own Justice League, so maybe they can just do that stuff there instead, and let him grow a little bit.
I just hope that he still maintains enough of his own character, so it's not just like, oh look, there's the Chinese versions of everything.
Yes, yeah, I'm hoping that's not the issue.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on. Last one for this half, Nightwing Rebirth #1.
Boo/yay.
I'm going yay.
Okay.
I'm going yay.
I mean, I read it, but you know.
Seeley's still writing it, and if you recall, it was King
And I'm still
Grayson.
I'm still very pro Agent 37, but
Yes, as am I. I'm sad to see that chapter end, but that's what this is. It's Grayson cleanup time, but with style.
Yeah.
And that's what we do here. So I'm going to go through the plot beats at the very least at the beginning, and then we'll come back and talk
there's a
about
lot going on in this.
Yeah, we'll talk about the style part afterwards, because as Dick Grayson tries to get everything back in order in his post-Agent 37 era so he can rejoin the costumes as Nightwing, it turns out he isn't the only one looking to dive into that world, as Helena Bertinelli, which I'm sincerely hoping is and this isn't a shipping thing, because if you remember in the annual during 5th week, she was all like, oh, I'm kind of adventure jealous. You get to go have all these like awesome adventures with people and you guys swing around and have fun. And then the ending was them going off to find adventure in Gotham. I'm kind of hoping it's her like wanting to be a part of that world so she can still hang out with Dick Grayson. And again,
Wish I could be.
No, I'm not shipping them. I think professionally just together, I think they're a good blend.
If she finds a magic carpet.
She could, but I'm not gonna toss that out there. But she is in the full Huntress gear.
He's got a real Aladdin vibe. He's got the hair. He's got the orphan.
I know.
Just saying.
He is a street rat as well.
That was more of a.
That's more of a Jason.
That's more of a Jason Todd thing.
Yep. But she's gonna be running around with Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. But luckily, Spiral will remain awesome because Agent 1, Dick's longtime partner, Tony, is taking the reins to continue their role as, quote, a weird, manipulative, mind-deluding angels. Yay, Spiral! Still out there doing things. We don't know if they're good, but kinda.
Agent 1, yay.
I do like Agent 1, and I do like the fact that he's still gonna have these characters as contacts at the very least. Because even as he's exiting out of the spy game, his relationships will not wither because his best frenemy / nemesis-ter, Midnighter, seems happy that he is actually getting out of the game of duplicity and lies as the two of them take on a Killacorn. And even Midnighter is like, they're beating up this giant pink rainbow
Yeti unicorn horn thing.
And they beat it up, and then he just looks down at his data pad and he's like, well, we just took care of Killacorn. Really? Really? Is this what we're down to? Fine. Ship it off back to the God Guard. And they're still best frenemies, nemesis-ters as they're calling them and everything. It's great.
Yep.
Love the two. I hope they still hang out. And it's great to see Midnighter actually happy for Dick Grayson to be back in a role that better fits him. Hey, you don't have to lie. You don't have to be all duplicitous and everything. You can be the shining beacon of goofiness that you are, off doing your thing out in the world. Way to go. Get out there, Dick Grayson. But it is not all happiness as Grayson comes to a close because there are still a lot of loose plot threads from that whole Robin War crossover that happened a couple months ago.
That we never recapped.
We didn't, but there was a lot of things that happened, and most of these plot threads are the things that kind of came out of it. So, with the help of one of Midnighter's gadgets, they are able to remove the bomb that the Court of Owls put in Damian's head.
What?
Yeah, he kind of let that go for a couple months. I was like, I hope they, take care of that.
Yeah.
That is either going to be one of those things that comes back a couple of years down the line. You're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. As Damian's 13-year-old head explodes into a pink mist. And you're like, well, someone forgot to take care of something.
Yeah.
But they do end up getting it out. And the Court of Owls are also making moves because Lincoln March, Owlman.
Figure way out of that pink mist there, Tomasi.
The other Owlman with the boob missiles.
Lincoln March.
You do see what I'm saying, though. He has like the little portcullises over his chest that shoot missiles out.
Yes.
Like a Killbot. And he has taken over and has renamed a faction of the Court of Owls into the Parliament of Owls, where they'll have black owl masks instead of white owl masks.
They like the funk.
Yeah.
They've seen the concept art for the next season of Gotham.
That's right, and he's going to be awesome. This is a new era. Finally, I am in charge of this faction, and great things are going to happen, guys. As an arrow goes through his eyeball into his brain and he drops dead. He has a talent, so he'll get back up eventually, but it looks like one of the other Talons by the name of Raptor from that whole Robin War thing is the one that's now taking command of the Parliament of Owls, and he's going to turn them against the source of his Madon, Nightwing, which luckily, Nightwing is not one to leave people sad because if it's Nightwing they want, it's Nightwing they're gonna get as he dons the blue and black costume once again and then just does a bunch of flips and he's like, yeah, Nightwing! It's gonna be amazing! But the whole thing is told via the framing device of him and Damian hanging out at the arcade as a, hey buddy, So, didn't tell you, but there's a bomb in your head, and I need to get it out. But I took you to the arcade where you could play your favorite game, Cheese Vikings, and fight off the Gargonzola trolls. Aren't I an awesome big brother? Come on, buddy. Don't hold a grudge.
I like how literal and like sarcastic Damien was about every single aspect of Grayson's like last series.
Yes.
Like, are you done flirting with Midnighter already?
It was very blunt, but at the same time, it was still told with that 13-year-old kind of like,
yeah,
dude, bro, you're being an idiot half the time. I still like you. I still look up to you, but jeez, man. Out there fighting Killicorns, flirting with Midnighter and Tiger. I don't even know who you're flirting with anymore. There was some pink robot. Were you flirting with that too? I don't know. John Constantine keeps leaving messages on the Batcave looking for you. It's all awkward. But it's very cute. It's very fun. It's always great to see Damien and Nightwing hanging out, and the fact that video games are their one of their like commonalities. Because remember when Damien died and they had the Night Stalkers game or whatever, Night Stalkers 3.
Like Power Rangers thing that they like together.
That he left on the tombstone for Damien, and it was all sad. It was like, oh man. Oh. But it's a nice little thing for him. They can do that. And even when Nightwing and Batman are talking, Batman's like, I sent him on a mission to the arcade so we could talk.
Yes.
There's a lot of Gargonzola trolls still there. I needed him to take care of it. But it's great. It's great. It's in really solid hands still. Seeley's also the guy that wrote the last couple issues of Talon with Lord Deathman.
Oh, man.
So I have a feeling he's got a couple dangling plot threads that he's going to get to play with as well. I think it's really in a solid place, and I'm looking forward to where it goes from here. This was clearly a button up a lot of plot threads, which you're going to have a lot of with a story like the one that was going on in Grayson. And, it sets the stage for a lot of fun moving forward as well. So, yay! I was sad to see Grayson go, but I'm still happy it's in the same capable hands, and it's going to be fun. I really think it's going to be a lot of fun. So what do you have coming up for the second half? You still got another
I've got The Flash and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps Rebirth #1.
Didn't he already have a Rebirth book like a couple years ago?
Yes, he did, but this is and the Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, okay. Well, this is like a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers type thing. Gotcha. Sweet. I always like it when it's Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band or something like that. Poor guys.
Gotta get some Max Weinberg in there.
And then I will wrap up the show with Wonder Woman #2.
Guy from The Sopranos.
As we start Wonder Woman Year 1. And last but not least, Earth 2 Society #19. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go through those books. We are no Rusted Root. I got a strike for that. By the way,
I can imagine.
I didn't know Rusted Root was so litigious.
I knew you told me about how strikes work, and then you put that on anyway.
I don't think we got a full-fledged strike. We got yelled at, and it's not available in some regions of the world because Rusted Root.
Use a podcatcher instead of YouTube to listen to us.
All for Rusted Root. I'm gonna go Toad the Wet Sprocket this week.
Bobbity say bobbity o. All right, so starting off with Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps Rebirth #1.
Dash? I thought it was colon.
No, it's is it a colon?
Yeah, it's a colon.
Oh, I wrote it.
Quit throwing your dash man everywhere.
I wrote it as a dash in my thing. My mistake. So, all the Green Lanterns have left. The Sinestro Corps have taken over, right down to War World. floating in and taking over the spot that Oa used to be in.
Yeah.
Like they found like the last few like little bits of Oa and they just annihilated them. Pew pew pew.
I did like the fact that that Oa, the home planet of the Guardians, was already destroyed, but that wasn't good enough for Sinestro.
Yep.
And he was just making big rocks into little rocks so that he could really make sure it was gone.
Yep.
Old man Sinestro. That seems to be the big question everyone's asking. Why does Sinestro look like an old man?
Okay, I thought maybe that happened at the end of his series.
It did, because of the whole, he fought one of the Guardians that hated all emotion, and it drained him so much that he's actually all withered and
he's old man. Now he's old man Withers.
Old
with
man
with
Withers.
his haunted amusement park / death planet. So he's an old decrepit.
Warworld does sound like an amusement park.
Yes.
A crappy one, but still.
Sinestro. So he's kind of bummed that he beat the Green Lantern so easily. They just sort of disappeared. It's like, well, fine, I guess.
And then LeBron James is there, and he goes, I'm just going to dribble over there.
Dribble. Yeah. So Lyssa Drac.
Teen Titans Go. There was a reference for that, everyone.
Yes. Yeah, so Lyssa Drac, that's her name, right?
Yes, Lyssa
So she
Drac.
tries to build him up as like the greatest Sinestro ever. He's like, I don't know.
Greatest Sinestro ever, huh?
Oh, the greatest. You know what I mean.
Sinestro core member.
Yes. He's the greatest. People were talking legends about how you finally vanquished the Green Lantern. It's like, I don't know. Stop buttering me up. Even I'm not enjoying this right now. It's like, so he goes and he goes down to ask the giant parallax space bug that is powering Warworld to grant him one last wish.
All right, what's that?
Everything.
Oh, well, I guess.
That may take a while. Let me clear out my schedule as a giant yellow space bug.
Let me see what I had. Scare people. I could maybe fit you in between my 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock where I was also going to scare people.
Yes. So, and meanwhile, renegade Hal Jordan, trench coat, long hair, bearded Hal Jordan has somehow become a being of pure will.
Because he's been using the Chrono Fist thing.
Yeah. The gauntlet, yeah.
And that's why it was put away, because it makes you eventually become one with willpower instead of you actually wielding it. You start becoming, so he became a construct version of himself.
Yeah.
Remember when he fought Cyborg Superman and turned into a giant construct version of himself? You don't remember that? That was a while back.
Okay.
Not too long back, but a while back.
Yeah.
When this takes place in all the Green Lantern books is kind of a nebulous, wishy-washy, but it seems to be before Green Lanterns with their lethal weapon routine, but after Green Lantern Corps Edge of Oblivion, where they've all returned. So this seems to be taking place somewhere in the
in-between. Yeah. So he refused. So he's becoming a living Lantern construct. He refuses to give in. He uses his power gauntlet that he was using to help him forge a new Green Lantern ring, and doing so notifies like everyone holding a ring across the universe that something is happening.
Yep.
So Hal Jordan may have been playing with forces he doesn't understand. Who would have thought?
Hal Jordan.
Including a Kyle Rayner who seemed much happier than I believe he was left in. I
think he just flew off somewhere.
Gotcha.
And he sat on a rock and cried. He saw Telos and went, well, it's like the Jerry Springer of the DC universe. He just watched Telos for a little bit and went, well, my life's not that bad. I guess it's not all bad. Right. I'll go over here and do some stuff.
He puts on the ring and becomes good old Hal Jordan again, ready to make some rash decisions and get hit on the head by stuff.
Back to his usual methods then, huh?
Yep.
And he's going to save the Green Lantern Corps, kick the Sinestro Corps out of Oa. Well, the
Warworld
dust thing there that was Oa.
Warworld has had a really strong string throughout the New 52, hasn't it?
It really has. It's played a lot of roles.
Such an odd little concept, and people keep picking up the ball and rolling with it.
To be fair, it should be over with the Green Lantern since they have their own Mogo talking planet as well. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for the Sinestro Corps to get one as well. I can't wait to see the Blue Lantern's sentient planet. I'm sure it's going to be like the most potent weapon in the universe. And really just destroy everything.
You get Pluto, as in I hope you become a planet again someday.
So what do you think? You've been out of the Green Lantern game for a little bit.
It was a reset button.
It was
not
going to
lie.
Button.
I mean, it was a pretty standard reset button.
Yeah.
Looked nice. I think was Van Sciver drawing this one. Yeah.
Yep.
Looked nice. You know,
who's
he knows his Green Lantern
his
stuff.
His teeth very, very sharply on the Green Lantern stuff. So,
You're also a good space bug.
yep, scary.
Yeah.
It's gonna go scare people. So, after delivering
So
everything,
we'll have to see how this carries on because I am staunchly in the Too Many Lanterns camp. So
there's
let's
only
see.
2 books now because Sinestro is over and all the Green Lantern Corps
You've got
book was
Green
smushed in with
Lanterns
Hal
and you've
Jordan.
got Hal Jordan.
Yep, there's no Red Lanterns book. That's it. There's just the 2 right
so
now.
there's the 2, but technically still 4.
And technically, it's just Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns as the quote-unquote flagship book.
So if they're off in space and we've got our buddy cops down on Earth, I could see that maybe finally being a nice balance with the many
Because everyone complains that there's no Earth Adventures of Green Lantern going on, and now you have your Earth-based ones and then the space-based ones. So you can have your cake and eat it too. Unless they get their badges taken away from them.
Yeah.
Because they are reckless
Yes.
on Earth, let me tell you. Let's move on. Wonder Woman number 2. New storyline, kind of, maybe, possibly. Because it's coming out bi-weekly, they have the present-day storyline where Wonder Woman is trying to find out what her origin story is because... God damn it, everyone keeps lying to me, and then the universe shifted, and now I remember other things, and not the way it was just told, not but a year or 2 ago. Erg! Well, on the other weeks,
I've got to keep on looking for this until the movie comes out and establishes a new origin for me.
Well, that's just it. In the other weeks, we're getting Wonder Woman Year 1, which is actually, quote-unquote, telling us the origin story of Wonder Woman. Whether it's a trustworthy narrator, we don't know. We're just getting Wonder Woman Year 1 right now, and that's the story that's being told to us. With a young Diana fascinated by what lies just beyond the borders of the Isle of Themyscira, she gets a little frustrated when all the other Amazonians are like, yeah, it's really crappy out there. We don't want to go out there. The crappiness is what drove us to this little island home hidden away from everything because it sucks so bad out there. And Diana, of course, is a little sad because, well, I was born here. I never got to actually see what life is like outside of the Isle. I'm the only one of all of you Amazons that doesn't know what it's like. Sad panda. Sad panda. But it is a little difficult because with a loving relationship with her mother and friends who love her as much, if not a little bit more, than she loves them.
Yeah.
It's hard not to agree that this is not paradise. Until one day, riding around the island on her horsey, she comes across this gnarled old tree and goes, well, that seems out of place, and goes to investigate where a poisonous viper bites her and she is poisoned and knocked out and is able to recover physically, but it still concerns one of the mystics of the Isle by the name of Castalia? Sure. Who warns Diana that with great power comes tremendous amounts of duty. Well, not duty, but like duty. D-U-T-Y. It could be tremendous amounts of duty as well, but you're responsible for cleaning up that duty. That is your duty to clean that duty.
My responsibility? No, it is not.
It's your
Terry McGinnis already figured this out, all right?
Just understand, I can't say the most simplistic way of saying this, but you get the gist, right? So she goes, okay, well, that's kind of weird. But this just isn't the origin story for Diana, because you can't tell her origin story without her equally important half. And that is the story of a young Steve Trevor working his way up the ranks into the elite units of the Air Force alongside his best bud, Nick. Yeah, Steve Trevor being all military awesome. And he's going from the rough and tumble, kind of immature Steve Trevor. And as they grow up and years are passing, he and Nick are getting more and more responsible to the point where his friend Nick even gets married and has a kid. And Steve Trevor's the godfather of it. And it's like, wow, our lives have finally come together. Well, let's head out on a mission. And they load up with their team onto a C-130 where his friend Nick takes off his wedding ring and tucks it into his breast pocket with a little bit of a look of worry on his face. And some might say that he knew his place. I'm Steve Trevor's childhood friend. I'm either going to be a villain or I'm going to die. Neither one of those are really good for me and my kids. So let's just get this over with. Which is it going to be, Wheel of Fate, villain or death? And it looks like death because the plane comes crashing into Paradise Island, where Diana and the rest of the Amazons run over to see what happened. And as they pick through the wreckage and bodies, including Nick, impaled through the chest by a metal spar with his wedding ring dangling on the end of it. Morbid. Everyone is even more shocked when a wounded Steve Trevor grabs onto Diana's foot as she passes and goes, ouch! He asks for them to help everyone aboard.
Yes, when they talk about Steve Trevor being the first man to set foot on Themyscira, they neglected to add the first man to set foot alive on Themyscira.
Yes. There was actually about 20 of them. He's the only one that walked away, so technically his feet were still attached to his body. That's why we count him as the first. A lot of people seem very happy that it's the Amazons are happy and loving, and they love Diana. Yay! And some of them really love Diana, and it's left kind of implicit that maybe Diana loves some of them as well, but in what ways
or maybe something doesn't feel quite right, but there's nothing else here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it has at least got people's attention.
There's so many different levels of like why she is longing to be somewhere.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. It's just there's been a lot of characters that have gone by recently.
Yeah.
And some people take it as kind of okay, well now we're just starting to hit pandering levels. Yeah. But at the same time, Wonder Woman is the one that's most apt.
Quick, give him a black boyfriend now.
well, no, I'm just saying, she seems like the one that has a background story, type thing that is a good indicator for her origin to start with that.
Yes.
Whereas like Catwoman, it was just like hey, guess what, everybody? I'm bi now. Woo!
Yeah.
And everyone's like, where did that come from?
At the very least, Dini always had the Poison Ivy Harley Quinn thing. So that was kind of well, of course.
Yeah, that was an undertone thing as well that's been going on almost since Harley Quinn's been around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
literally since the cartoon.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's been a subtext that's been going on for quite some time with those two. No qualms whatsoever.
Yeah.
Really, Catwoman is kind of the one that everyone's just kind of like, that one's kind of just out of nowhere, and now this one on top of it, it raised a couple eyebrows. I really honestly don't give a crap whatsoever. I'm like, whatever. I don't give a crap. It does make it a interesting storytelling device. It'll make it a lot more intriguing when it comes to why Steve Trevor may not be welcomed by all of the Amazonians as well. So you add a lot more drama with that little twist of the knife, so to speak. That being said, a lot of dismantling of Azarello. It's being done in the background and not the foreground.
Yeah.
We can just say, okay, well, there were just some people that didn't like Diana and called her Clay, and it wasn't like all the people made fun of her and she wasn't like a social pariah on the island. Some of them, she had a lot of dear friends as well. So maybe we'll see how it works.
There's ways you can take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's being left vague enough, but at the same time, you're getting the vibe that it's almost like a whitewash, get rid of that.
I don't know if whitewash is the term you want to use.
Well, I meant just like washing over what it was.
Okay.
Power cleaner.
Power cleaner.
They are Greek, too.
Erasing the whiteboard. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. And now Flash will have no idea how Earth 2 works.
Yes.
So it's a shame. Speaking of,
The Flash, number 2.
Yes.
So Barry Allen's friend on the police voice. Police voice?
The police voice.
The police voice.
Is that like the speed voice?
Like the speed voice, yes. So his buddy, Detective August Hart, has been struck by Speed Force lightning and has gained super speed as well. So the Flash helps train him. Spin your arms, make a tornado. Now run around circles. That will also make a tornado. When will we get past the tornado making part of this training? When you finish tornado making 101 by actually making a tornado, August.
Is Red Tornado just sitting up on a building, kicking his legs like, I used to do this too.
Yeah, I hope so.
No, I'm not useful.
Yep. But it's very cute. August figures out that the Flash is his friend Barry. He's like, what? No, how could that possibly be? It's like, I'm a detective. I was there when you got struck by lightning. I would be losing my badge if I didn't figure this one out.
One and one together and getting Barry Allen as the result.
Yes. But Barry enjoys teaching people how to be speedsters. It's like, it's almost like this is calling that I had. It's a shame there's no one else I could help teach.
Yeah,
learn how to use the Speed Force.
Proteges or anything.
Smash cut to Wallace West trying to teach himself the Speed Force and doing terrible at it. So
poor Wallace West.
It's like, I really feel bad that I'm not calling him Wally, but it's the only way to differentiate them.
It's the best way to differentiate at this point.
So, Star Labs is covering up a rogue doctor.
It could be worse.
Yes.
Reddit has been calling him Chocolate Wally.
Ooh.
But then they got in an argument over who's Vanilla Wally because Barry Allen's the most Vanilla Wally there is. So then they made other Wally, Strawberry Wally, and together they formed the Neapolitan of the Speed Force.
I'm not touching that one with a 50-foot pole. All right. Or 52-foot pole. So Star Labs is covering up a rogue doctor who left the labs named Dr. Carver, who with a name like that, nothing could possibly go wrong.
But Dr. Carver doesn't follow the rules at all. Because they even mention it in this when they're talking to the person and they say, well, Dr. Carver was kicked out for studying things that are off limits.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I just pictured the day in the office there at Star Labs where Dr. Carver's just like, dude, it's just traffic cones. We can move them out of the way and study the Speed Force here.
Like, no, we specifically said they were off limits.
Did you not see the tape saying do not cross?
Yeah. So Dr. Carver is now running the black hole who killed August's brother.
Ooh.
So Iris pokes around this story and gets too close and gets kidnapped. Barry goes to help, and August decides he wants to be his partner too, because he was just going to be, I will just be a detective using the Speed Force as an extra bonus, okay?
He's a little bit more militant, though.
Yes.
Like, he really wants to get out there and no due process. I'm a detective. I have super speed. I can't really have that stand up in court, so I'm just going to arrest the people that are being bad.
Yeah.
Evidence or not. I mean, I caught them being bad. I'm going to arrest them.
Yeah.
And Barry's kind of like, that's not how being a police officer works. They'll take your badge. You're a renegade.
Yeah. We've got a lot of that going around right now. So, Barry goes to help Iris, and August decides to join up too, because, and it's a good thing because Barry got hit by some sort of like Speed Force sapping gun.
Yep.
That the black hole had. And, how does August do it? By making tornadoes with his arms. He's like,
circle,
yeah.
Barry, full circle.
Yes. Barry's just like, oh, you're getting a grape job sticker on your report card, August. It's going to be grapes, and you're going to scratch it. It's going to smell like grapes. It's going to be awesome.
I do love how August just put together some janky costume with, like, goggles and just like, I'll put this hat on sideways.
I'll put this, I've got goggles. I've got one of those jackets that, like, snaps up on the far side of my chest. So yeah, there I am now.
Those seem to be sold all over the place in the DCU.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone seems to be able to just pick up a bomber jacket or something like that. Just corner store, just nickels. There you go. Go get one.
In America, it's leather jackets that snap up on the side. Yep. In China, they've got the slouch neck collars.
Apparently, that's Cossack jackets.
That's just how fashion works. Yeah. So they're able to stop they've got to destroy the gun, which they would have liked to have analyzed, but it's too dangerous because they don't want it to be used against them again.
And studying that is off limits.
Yeah, exactly.
We know this. I mean,
yeah. So Barry's just like, man, I enjoy having a friend as someone he can talk superheroics with and help him out. And it's almost like the Speed Force heard him and granted him more help. And then another storm rolls through, and Speed Force lightning strikes like half the town. He's like, hey, wait a second, Speed Force. That's not quite what I was saying.
And August is just like, well, I guess school's in session.
Yes, and
including Iris. Doesn't she get hit as well?
It could be Iris. I don't know. The artwork's a little vague because everyone's getting hit. Even Wally gets hit, or Wallace gets hit.
Yes.
So it's kept very vague because there's a lot of different people. One of them could have been Iris.
Well, Iris already had the Speed Force for a little bit there.
Yeah, she did,
before.
Didn't she?
Remember,
yeah, when she got stuck in the
really awkward
with supercharger, and yeah. Oh man, that
where they were the Speed Force.
Yes, when Patty Spivot throwing shade at Barry, making her a really tight costume when she's holding the Speed Force.
All I have is this Lycra costume to protect you from the kinetic fields. No other reasons why I want to put you in this really tight Lycra costume. Lycra doesn't stop kinetic energy. No, it really does. I'm a scientist. You can't study the Speed Force to tell me I'm wrong, though, because it's off limits.
The next part of the story is called Thunderstruck, which I can just imagine, like, I just imagine in my head, like, the trailer for the next issue of, like, the da-na-na-na-na, someone gets struck by lightning, da-na-na-na. We're just like interspersed with Barry going like, oh no, da-na-na-na, in slow motion. I can
run with that.
Yeah.
I can run with that. It was fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really liking this.
It seems to be not as far up its own butt as it has been. It was very serious.
It was very serious.
There's
a more lighthearted quality to it. I'm really digging Joshua Williamson, who believe it or not, I was reading my son the new issue of the Haunted Mansion comic because he loves those Disney theme park comics.
Yeah,
and Joshua Williamson's writing it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
He's working with the insurmountable task of trying to set an epic story in one house. So
you could do it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you look at, say, I don't know, like the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie, it's not that easy. Or like that Casper movie.
I think you mean it was amazing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what you meant. Lock and Key was pretty good, and it was almost all in one house.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know if you read that one.
I did not read that one,
It was good. I'll just spot you that one. It's quite good. Quite good. So let's see. 2 thumbs up for Flash?
Yeah.
Giving it your grape sticker.
He's getting my grape job sticker, yeah.
Well, let's move on because we got Earth 2 Society, number 19, bringing up the caboose here. Earth 2, we've covered this before since Rebirth, so I don't want to go into it too much, but there's a lot of moral squabbling happening because Earth 2 got destroyed, and Batman, Power Girl, and Khalid are trying to convince Fury that they should use her magical MacGuffin, the Pandora casket that holds all of the memories of the past, to restore Earth 2 to the way it was before. But Fury's like, I don't think that's how this works. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how this thing works. It's a MacGuffin. It just does things, but I'm pretty sure we can't just rewind time and replace the planet and go back there and make everything before Apocalypse destroyed it. Besides, Batman / Dick Grayson, you seem to be way too vested into this option, almost like it's personal, not just a, hey, we could save a lot of lives and help people. This seems to be something you're like fixated on. Is there a reason? And he's like, yeah, my wife died and I kind of misplaced my son during the whole destruction of Earth 2. I gave him to these very trustworthy ladies that were wearing chainmail and swords, you know, like everyone does on Earth 2, and said, keep my son safe, and ran off to do other things with my one solitary Batarang that clearly was going to save the day. It didn't quite work out, by the way. Earth 2 was destroyed, so whoopsie. I'd like to rewind that if we could and take that one back. But cooler heads prevail, as all of them are arguing the moral dilemma of whether they should try to use it to overwrite this Earth and make it Earth 2 before it was destroyed. But not everyone is in total agreement because the Ultra Humanite has sent out his artificially aged children off to capture the MacGuffin for his own uses. So as the Humanites bust in and eviscerate poor Citizen Steel, who really has had a poor showing in all of Earth 2. Every single time he does something, it's just like, okay, Citizen Steel, go down into the fire pit to see what's there. And he comes back up all molten like, a lot of fire. It's a pit of fire. Who'd have thought? And this time he runs up to attack one of the Humanites, and she just literally cuts him to ribbons, and he's like, oh boy, yeah, that didn't work out too well. And so most of the heroes and wonders are being annihilated, including Dick Grayson, who is knocked off his feet, and his exoskeleton that keeps him mobile is damaged, and he's trying to pull himself to his feet as one of the Humanites walk up, until the Humanite goes, hey, wait a minute. I know you. You're my daddy. And Dick Grayson goes, what? And that's where it ends. So I guess we found him.
Yep,
Yay.
there he is.
He's going by the name Fire Pattern.
What?
Yeah, he's working for the Ultra Humanite, and he's been brainwashed by Ultra Humanite into being Fire Pattern. He makes patterns with fire.
I guess all the good superhero names have been taken.
Well, I think they just want to keep him on the primer, all the good names. So they're like, okay, you can have Fire Pattern. Go ahead, do that. I'm sure he was an old character somewhere or something. Who knows? Who knows? But it's hard to recover how far off the chain Earth 2 went, and that seems to be what they're doing right now, is trying to bring it back. It's changed creative teams a little bit, and it's it's a decent book. It's just and it's being written by Admit, who I've made no shortage of praise for. It's just it's hard to get this thing back on the rails, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you can see it fighting its way off the rails again, and with like just struggling against the creative team as they're like, no, come on back. And we'll see where it ends up. It feels like it's getting to a reset button, honestly, and that'll kind of make me sad, but I guess we'll see. It's hard for me to know where I feel on this one, because it went so far off the rails that it was just miserable for the longest time, but it was interesting and unique at the same time. It was doing something new that no one else was doing, and something Earth 2 characters have never had to deal with, but it was so absurdly off the rails. I was just like, Earth 2, fine.
Earth 2.
Let's see. So I don't want it to go back to being boring, but I at least want a vestige of what it should be being in there as well. Just the tiniest scrap of Earth 2 and kind of the World War II era characters and all of that type of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. But they're all coming back they're all coming back to the regular DCU soon anyways. So.
Yeah, so
So shrug.
Yeah, we're just kind of treading water at the moment, it feels like, just to wrap it up.
First thing
I hate being negative like that. It's just for me, it has not been hitting any buttons or scratching that many itches of late.
While you were talking about that, I was looking up Chinese fashion trends on Google image search. Very first thing, slouch neck collar in a box.
Oh man!
I'm gonna have to post that on
So there are gonna be a bunch of box people.
Maybe
box gonna be there.
Finally, that Green Lantern crossover we've been waiting for with new Superman.
Didn't even know we wanted it.
Yep.
So, but that's it. That's all of our books for this week. It's weird, this whole bi-weekly schedule and working books in, and other books are ending right now. So it's kind of like this transitional period where we don't have that much to do.
Yeah.
But we're still keeping that solid 1 hour show.
But there's also a crap ton of miniseries coming out soon.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Are you good with the minis, or?
Well, one of them is Midnighter and Apollo.
Yes,
so by the Midnighter creative team. So
hard traveling heroes of Six Pack and Dog Welder.
Oh yeah, I forget about that one. Yeah,
that one's starting up next month too.
Dead Man: Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love.
Their house was
their love was forbidden, but so was their house.
Woo!
Yeah. Finally, more ladies can fall in love with Dead Man. I like.
Dead Man is kind of the ghost of Dick Grayson. I mean, he's an acrobat that all the ladies love.
I like my men like I like my coffee, pale, bald, and floating.
That's a weird coffee you drink right there. Not gonna lie.
I don't know what they're doing at Sundollar on the DC Universe.
But as a reminder, you guys, make sure you go out and buy these books. Support what you like. I'm not going to do the whole spiel again this week. You guys know what it is. But if you don't buy it, they don't make it, and it goes away. That's just how it is. So if it's something you enjoy, make sure you support it. Next week, we do have more books, Brian. Who'd have thunk it? As we get to continue the under the sea adventures of Aquaman. Well, kind of half under the sea.
He's mostly over the sea so far.
Mostly on land, just kind of hanging out. But maybe we'll find out what's actually going on with the general and not the general, but the two military advisors. And will they or won't they, Brian? Will they or won't they?
Will they or won't they?
Yeah.
I still want him to have a book club. I still want him to have a book club with his lobster friend in Fluke.
Nope.
Until that happens.
Nope. We get the start of Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, Rebirth number 1.
Before Batgirl, eh?
Yeah. So Batgirl's hanging out with all of them now. Batman number 3, Green Arrow number 3. Yay, Green Arrow. Yeah. Green Lanterns number 3, unless they just don't follow the rules. And then we'll take their badges. Justice League number 1 and New Suicide Squad 22, Superman number 3, and the Hellblazer Rebirth number 1.
Ooh,
spookums. Dribble.
Watch out for Dead Man.
He'll steal your ladies. So yeah, there's a bit more coming out. We get some fresh starts as well. So some of the books I've been looking forward to. Hellblazer was in a really good place right before Rebirth. Mm-hmm. Let's see where it goes. I want to see where the tone is on this one. that really will kind of define whether it's a yay new Hellblazer start or a yay new Hellblazer start.
Yeah.
That being said, if you do want to contact us, you can do so where, Brian?
The internet.
Yep, that's where we are. I've been horribly, horribly bad about keeping up with it. This week has sucked. Actually, this whole summer has just been eating me alive, so we almost didn't even get this week's episode
Sports
out.
and baseball and everything.
Yeah, our kids are literally doing every after-school activity there is when school isn't even in, so I'm not even looking forward to school starting back up because then there'll just be more. And dear God, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not at that point yet. I've just got the summer at this point.
We had 1 week where Devin had football, baseball, and hockey all in the same days. Where we had to drop him off in the morning for football, pick him up, take him to the rink for hockey, and then baseball in the evenings. So
Fun.
I was like,
Yeah.
pick a sport. Pick a sport. I'm going to pick for you. Luge. That's all you're doing. Luge. That being said, if Brian, do you have nothing before we go?
No, that should be good.
All right, sweetness. So everyone, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we're going to talk to you next week.